We speak to the veteran constitutional litigator now. Welcome to the big story, Attorney Ernesto Francisco Jr.
Yeah, good evening, sirs, ladies. Good evening.
Thank you. It's been a while that we've seen you in the public eye, attorney. Now, what can you say about the Supreme Court decision on VP Sara's impeachment?
I have read the decision several times, sirs, and I am very convinced that it is correct. It is correct because what the Supreme Court did was just to address a, a grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House. The issue here is that uh, the House of Representatives did not comply with the constitutional one-year bar rule and violated the Supreme Court decision in the Francisco ruling. What the House of Representatives should have done is that after the first impeachment complaint was filed, then the House should have acted right away on it immediately by including it in the order of business, and the House thereafter should have referred it right away to the Committee on Justice. That was not done. It's in the House rules on impeachment that it should be done, but that was not done. So the Supreme Court, it's the duty of the Supreme Court, it's the constitutional duty of the Supreme Court to determine if there has been grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House of Representatives and to correct it. And here, there's a clear grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House of Representatives. This is not a question of the House following the Francisco ruling. The House did not follow the Francisco ruling and violated the constitutional provision on the one-year bar rule.
All right. Let's go back to the Francisco doctrine, which was initiated in a way which is exemplified by yourself. It pinpoints the initiation of an impeachment complaint when it is referred to the Justice Committee, correct? Correct, Attorney?
Yes,
Yes.
filing and referral to the Justice Committee.
Right, but in this case, we heard the speaker say that there was no action on it, and they were archived after the approval by 1/3 vote of the House of Representatives on the fourth complaint. Why
So
is
that's-
that? What was the where did the initiations begin in this particular case referring to VP Sara?
That's the violation says, because in the Constitution says that the House should have acted immediately even on an impeachment complaint filed by a citizen. That's very important to us because that's the only power given to us citizens to file an impeachment complaint. The House, the Speaker, the Secretary General do not have any discretion to sit on these three impeachment complaints. They should have followed the Constitution. They should have followed the Francisco ruling, which is in the House Rules on Impeachment. If you look at page 1 of the House Rules on Impeachment, the Francisco ruling is quoted there in the footnote.
But should this be applied then prospectively? Because they say that they were just following the Francisco precedent, the rules set by the Supreme Court in your case, in the case that you had filed.
But the problem says is that they did not follow it. They deliberately avoided the Francisco ruling by sitting on the first three impeachment complaints. And they waited for the fourth impeachment complaint. That cannot be done. They do not have discretion to do that. That's why the Constitution is very strict. It says it should be placed in the order of business within 10 session days and then referred to the Committee on Justice.
But Attorney, that's exactly what the House is insisting they did. They said, pasok naman po sa 10 session days because not every day that they have a session is counted as a session day. Of course, some lawmakers even have also doubted this, but that's how they wrote back to the SC. They even said, oh, some session days were 3 days long, 3 real days long, etc.
Yes.
So what would you have to say against that, that justification by the House?
The first impeachment complaint was filed on December 2, 2024. It could have been it could have been included in the order of business on December 3. And within 3 days, immediately, not even waiting for 3 session days, referred to the Committee on Justice. That is how it should be. I have done that. I have filed on my own as a citizen. I have filed twice, thrice an impeachment complaint, and I relied on that. That when I file an impeachment complaint, as long as it's endorsed by a member of the House of Representatives, it is the constitutional duty of the House to act on it, not to sit on it, but to act on it immediately.
But-
Here, they had 19 days, not just 10 days. They had 19 days to act on the first impeachment complaint that was filed on December 2, 2024. And I know why they did not act. They skirted the possibility of a hearing because the first impeachment complaint was too long. It contained 24 charges. So they thought that by having by having an impeachment complaint that was filed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the House, they can transmit it to the Senate right away. But there, they are also wrong. Because if you look at the House rules on impeachment, and I have it here, it says, Section 2, impeachment shall be initiated by the filing and subsequent referral to the Committee on Justice of, letter C, a verified complaint or resolution of impeachment filed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the House. So this is the House rules. It says that even if it is filed by 1/3 of all the members of the House, it should be referred to the Committee on Justice. Why? Because it is the Committee on Justice who is supposed to determine if the complaint, even if
sufficient.
filed by 1/3, is sufficient in form and substance. This was not followed.